Now, in the UK, we've heard about companies going out of business, sharing the gas business, but is that a hedge buy? You know, when you buy, you're using the hedge thing, and you pre-buy. We don't know these answers, do we? By buying in future spot rates, whatever. I don't know all about it, but you can sometimes ride out the bumps. We don't know these answers yet.
From what I understand, and it's only from what I understand, you can get clarification of this from Manx Gas, hopefully another time, that let's compare this. Let's think about the UK for a second, and then it'll make sense. And let me try to compare that back to the Isle of Man. So the way that this has been explained to me, like the bigger gas utility companies like British Gas, they hedge something like a year in advance. Okay, so back last year they were buying gas for very, very, very small money, and probably even in the last 4 or 5 months they've probably been buying it at very, very small money. But the smaller gas companies, they don't hedge. So they've always worked on the assumption that, you know, gas prices, even though we say for a very long time we've been paying far too much, but over the last 5-10 years, gas prices wholesale have been actually really quite low, and the smaller gas suppliers in the UK have gone out of business purely and simply because they don't hedge. So they buy gas at almost like a kind of a daily or a weekly purchase in time. So because in the UK you have there was a very vast selection of utility providers. If you knew that your gas was going to go up and it was up, but then you realise you go back to likes of British Gas that have bought all that gas in a long time ago, they've hedged it so they can sell it cheaper. There's two problems there. The gas utility company can't afford to buy the gas, and second of all, even if they bought it, they're losing all the customers to go back to the cheaper company. Here we only have one gas provider, which is Manx Gas, and from what I understand, they hedge at 6 months. Okay. And but 6 months ago, the prices were really high anyway, and of course now they're even higher. Well, yesterday they were pretty much twice the price as they are today. If Vladimir Putin is looking in today, thank you very much, Vladimir. Good man. But so today's a lot better than yesterday. But the reality is, from what I understand, and you know, I don't come in here trying to be the scientific ambassador on figures. By my understanding, Manx Gas are still selling gas at a loss, and that needs to be taken very seriously. Just to reiterate, it would be irresponsible for me to come in here and say anything else apart from the fact that this is a very serious situation. But it needs to be treated seriously. It won't be good enough for the government, like they've done for the last 7 or 8 months, to give the gas customers silent treatment. It won't be good enough for Manx Gas to give customers a silent treatment like they've done for however many years. This is the time for Manx Gas to be more PR friendly. This is the time for government to liaise with Manx Gas, and between the two of them, they need to start pulling together. They need to sort out these refunds. They need to come up with some ideas. Don't be just sitting back and waiting for Barry to do an interview with you. I can't fix any of it.
So just go back to the very beginning, which is what I really, really took away from this, that if those refunds were released now, that would give people a buffer to ride out, presumably, the worst of the winter, maybe.
Yes.
I mean, they won't gain much because it'll just go back to in the extra charges. But it seems like a quick fix almost for a safety net idea. So who needs to do that? That is between government and the gas people.
So to answer the second that question fully in a second, the first thing is, this is not something we're asking for, right? This is something that has been promised. We cannot. I said to Manx Gas a little while ago when I was there that they when they decided they weren't going to pay back half of this promised refund rebate for 2020, 2021, they should have come to you. They should have gone to Manx Radio. There should have been a press release to explain to people why this money wasn't forthcoming. But there has been, from what I understand, a question mark about how Treasury would go about paying this money back to gas customers. I don't know if I said to you exactly 5 minutes ago back in time. I have asked Manx Gas to contact Mr. Cannon while he's still Treasury Minister and ask how that's going to be repaid back. But the second part of it is
sorry, it may not be paid back. You said it was voluntarily, so
no. I never said that.
I thought.
It's really complicated. And this is why I got really frustrated with Manx Gas and the government. This is all I have to show you, right? It was a refund promised, okay? 50%, 50%. Manx Gas would pay back 50% if a voluntary deal was signed.
So that's
it wasn't. There was a regulatory route. That 50% is gone.
So the government has got the 50%.
So it was £100 for 2020 and £100 for 2021, given a total of £200. 50% of that is now gone, unless Manx Gas find a heart. But they're saying they haven't got any money, so therefore it's unlikely they're going to find a heart.
So you're asking, just for Mr. Cannon's part.
I'm not asking them. They've already promised it. So what I'm saying is, up the ante. The time has gone. No more talk. We've had the election. You know, I've actually sat back on this to allow the new administration to take their seats, to allow government to settle down, to allow you to do your interviews with the election. But now's the time. I'm glad in many ways that this £100 wasn't paid back last year, because people would have probably spent it foolishly on Christmas when gas bills were high, but not that high. Now they can do with it. The second part is a request. So the first part we were guaranteed, and it will be paid. I have no doubt that's going to be paid. Right. You know, it's not to be mixed up with these regulatory adjustments. This £2.50, £3.
So not an if, but when.
Yes,
on that one. Okay.
And the second part is a request, because the way I see it, this 6% interest on this 40-year loan on 30 million or whatever it was. If the Treasury or the government say that they can afford to drop that down for 2020 and 2021, all I'm saying is we've come out of COVID. Times are really hard. People are really feeling the squeeze. We're going into winter. This is unprecedented. Extend that 4% for another 2 years, and that 2% give that back to gas consumers and make up that difference. Right. That's what I'd like.
We're up to date.
We're up to date. I don't know. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with my other previous request to the government, which was to ask the government to pay more for gas bills, because unfortunately now, if at Nobles alone they're paying just short of 10p per kilowatt hour unit for gas, well, clearly they're paying more than me and you nearly put together. So it's unprecedented.
Barry,
it's
come back. You're back on this now. You thought you parked it and off to the sunset.
No,
you're on it.
I am. Yeah, no, I am. I fully am. I'm fully committed. I see this as the time. So it's a short-term problem, it's a medium-term problem, and it's a longer-term problem. Okay, this is the time for the government and Manx Gas to rectify all these little things that have actually made this become a long-term problem. Get together. So look at first of all, the government need to look at their own gas bill, see what they can do with this. Okay, so if you need to, hopefully, Paul, I'm not extending too much of your time. You're probably going to put this into two parts, but this is actually really important. Okay, it's really, really, really important. When I was at this meeting earlier on today, I was asked straight up, and I think I can say this because it was a very open meeting with Manx Gas. Why is it that somebody like me, or not in a bad ways, but why would it be, say, for me as a gas customer, or for me as a member of the general public even, that I would find it in some way disturbing that a hospital which treats sick people, poorly people, that they should be on a much lower rate for gas than anybody else? And in fairness, that's a pretty good question. But what I said was simply this. There was actually, at that stage, there was three of us in the room. And what I said was that if we went out onto the street right now, and we all had an accident at exactly the same time, and we went up to Nobles Hospital, and we were being provided the service at Nobles Hospital, sitting in a ward, nice and toasty and warm, and everything else. But one of the three was heating on electric. One of the three was heating on oil. And one of the three, which could be me, was heating on gas. Why am I the only one subsidising their services? Why is the person heating on oil not subsidised and they're not heating on electric? And just before you cut me off, it's very important, because I've said that before, and I've, not to you, but to other people, and I've not been allowed to finish, because what that people can quickly get carried away by thinking is, oh my God, he wants to put up the cost of oil, or he wants to put up the cost of electric. I'm not. What I'm saying is that gas customers have been, certainly back in 2020 and before that most likely, have been cross-subsidising the government's gas bill. Okay, they have been. And what is now needed is somehow to bring the cost of gas down to an affordable level, because 7.64, to be honest with you, for most people isn't even affordable, not compared to what they were paying in the UK. But to bring that cost of gas down, increase the cost of the government's gas supply. We are the government. The government aren't a separate entity. Me, you, and everybody else watching this video, and then the other 80,000 people on the streets right now, we are the government. And the working population of the Isle of Man, that money that increase needs to go back into direct taxation to level that off. The day that 20,000 gas customers, or whatever it is, domestic gas customers, can be asked to continue subsidising low gas bills like this was certainly back in 2020, and when the wholesale price goes down again, we're going to be asked to cross-subsidise it again, because we're not on a variable, we're on a fixed. Them days are gone. You know, there has to be a long-term solution, not a short-term fix like up in the benefit system for short-term, or giving the charities a little bit of money to try and see this through. Because what's going to happen is when the wholesale price comes back down, we're still going to be in that situation where we're still paying too much. Okay. And all I'm saying is I want to walk away, but I don't want to walk away until there's a sensible fix, a long-term sensible fix.